Our next speaker is our dearest and distinguished Shahin Mafi.
Thank you very much, Sheila. I'm really speechless. I don't know what to say. I want to start with a video about Iranian women.
What if I told you that I was the only firefighter in my hometown?
What if I told you I was the first to compete for my country in the Winter Olympics?
What if I told you I was the lead singer of an acclaimed rock and roll band, and a computational geneticist has been deemed one of the top 100 geniuses of our time?
What if I told you my photographs have been published in National Geographic, the New York Times, Newsweek, and Time magazine?
What if I told you that I won my nation's first ever motocross?
What if I told you I won a gold medal in the Paralympic Games?
What if I told you I was the first from my country to scale an 8,000-meter peak in the Himalayas?
What if I told you I became the first suffrage martyr in my country after appearing unveiled in public? They strangled me with a silk scarf, threw me into a garden well, and filled it with stones and soil.
If I told you that, would you believe that I'm a woman from Iran?
If I told you that, would you believe I was a woman from Iran?
If I told you that, would you believe that I'm a woman from Iran?
I am a woman from Iran.
I'm a woman from Iran.
I'm a woman from Iran.
I am a woman from Iran.
I'm a woman from Iran. I'm often quoted as having said, "You can kill me as soon as you like, but you cannot stop the emancipation of women."
Okay. I am a woman from Iran. And the reason why I'm here, because there's a lot of misconception about Iranian women. And that's the reason why I have to explain a little bit about my life, then I will go back to Iranian women and how the Iranian women are. I have to say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow panelists. Thank you very much, Sheila. Thank you very much, everybody, for inviting me here today. My mother was a feminist. Even though she's not living with us anymore, she's still my role model. Perhaps because for this reason, when I grew up, I became a women activist. Because of that, I forced to flee my native country. I went to France, where I was able to get political asylum. That's the reason why I came out from Iran. Even though I had my MBA from the United States, I was able to obtain an additional degree, which is the equivalent to a master's degree in management information system. In 1990, my mom was scheduled to have a very serious surgery. I came to the United States to join the rest of my family and to be with my mom as she faced this health crisis. When I came here to the United States, my English wasn't good, and I believe still not perfect. In fact, it was often half French and half English, believe it or not. I was talking English, but half was French. But I realized that my parents and my family needed me. So I decided to stay here, and I started a business. Even though English was my weakness, I started a business in healthcare. I felt I could overcome any language barriers with my determination and ability to run a successful business. As it turned out, my business did well. Now, after 25 years, I am proud. I am a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist. Because of my good fortune, I felt the need to give back and help more children be educated, more women of every background, by giving them a chance to also succeed. I believe that we as a women must give a chance to each other. That is what we should do. After all, we know and remember who raised our men. Before we talk about the women's role in modern society, we have to take a look at our history. After all, as we all know, the past will guide us forward. In primitive human life, archaeologists say men and women had the same right. But then we had what is called human progress. Men became the hunters, and women stayed home to care for children and mine crops. It was through the success of women in agriculture that mankind was able to produce more than was needed. The result was that the men learned how to trade while the women were homebound. Next, I want to take you through a little history of ancient Persia, where I came from. Persian women were very powerful. Believe it or not, Persia had 2 queens who ruled in the whole empire with justice and empathy. Cyrus the Great was one of the first leaders in the world to mandate human rights. The commander of his empire's army was a woman called Panta. Isn't that great? Thank you. The legacy of those ancient times still endives Iranian women with a strong sense of culture and identity. Unfortunately, the glory days of Persian women and the Persian empires came to a close when Iran was conquered in the 7th century and the religion of Islam was imposed on the Persians. Previously, most Persians were Zoroastrians. I firmly believe that we should respect everyone's religion and beliefs. But today, I wanted to ask everyone here a question. Have you ever seen any religion that has given equal rights to women? My mother spent 15 years researching this question, and she found none. Most religions and their rules are centuries old. And today in Iran, the government is using these rules to discriminate against women. And the result is that women in Iran today have no rights. Unfortunately, today the Western world has many misconceptions about Iranian women and underestimate them. However, the truth is that Iranian women are very good at overcoming barriers in their path towards self-achievement. These days, 60% of the wealth of Iran is in the hands of the women. The number of university-educated women in Iran is twice than Iranian men. This is the fact. The government got nervous when they found out about that. Iranian women want to keep their autonomy often by not getting married. Because in marriage, their destiny is in the hands of men. In Iran, women have the option of what is called a temporary marriage. It's called sigha. Yes. They can specify that their marriage can last for minutes or 99 years. When it's over, it's over. How about that? Unless they choose to extend it. They maintain control of their destiny and their autonomy. If they are children, their children can inherit from both of their parents. If the parents separate, then the man has to pay to support the children. The result is that there are fewer children and marriage is delayed. For those who married but do not choose temporary marriage, the divorce rate is high. Women cannot accept subordination to men. The women of Iran participated in the revolution that overthrew the Shah and brought Khomeini to power. Khomeini, who was in France at the time, claimed that he was a holy man and did not want to interfere with Iran's government. The general thinking in Iran was that the followers of Dr. Mossadegh would take over. Dr. Mossadegh was the leader of National Front of Iran. But let's go back to today's topic, expanding the role of women in decision-making processes of business and government. Scientific research has found that women function far better than men in a stressful situation, and they take fewer risks. That's the reason why they're better driver. I think because of that, everywhere in the world today, there is girl power and women power. Women are brave and smart and challenging the men-centered powers structure so they can have a voice. Iranian women don't need anyone to come and save them. They can do it themselves. But you can support them. That's very important. If women have more of leadership role in policy making, the result will be amazing. The result will be empowerment of women, gender equality, sustainable development, economic growth, political development, good governance, and social development. Now, the issue of women's, as my colleague said, empowerment and gender equality is at the top of agenda worldwide. Today we must plant the seeds that will grow into the world tomorrow's generation. Empowering women will empower our children. Empowering children means creating a better life for the future of human race. Now, that's the goal I think we can all support. As we proclaim, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us today. Now, let me close with this short video. You might enjoy it because it shows Iranian power and Iranian women. She's supporting the Wednesday White, which Iranian women try to, get rid of mandatory, hijab. Thank you very much, everybody.
This question can be for anybody. I am asking, well, basically in our country's education system, like the US education system, there's a common narrative that the rights of women are here. So basically, we were fighting for so long and the 3 waves of feminism, and now we're equal and there's this big celebration, and that's basically how it's talked about in the US K-12 education system. And it's not until you get to higher education that you learn otherwise. So my question for any of you is, how can you teach young girls, like, what is your experience in teaching young girls their history, and how can you help young girls to embrace and empower other girls to want to help and want to fix those broken systems? Like, how are ways that you can become a better educator for young girls without having to sugarcoat the history that we've had to overcome?
I can only speak to this as a mother of a 17-year-old. Daughter who I struggle every day to set a good example for her. And even though we talk about equality and that, the era is here, the truth is it isn't quite. And so it's a conversation every day about... Sorry? So it's a conversation every day about, being your best self and overcoming obstacles. And there are programs here in the U.S. like Girls on the Run. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And mentorship programs that I've gotten involved with and I think have been very valuable. But I think any program that empowers young women and builds them up and lets them know how talented and special they are, but also helps them understand where we've come from, is a positive thing.
I think, we should give a chance to each other. That's it. Then we can, make improvement, and the women, they're going to be, achieve their success. Give a chance to another one.
I think we should actually face the fact that it's not time for the big celebration yet, because we still have salary parities and women in on the economic side. Yes, we've made strides. We can celebrate the milestones, but the destination we have not reached gender equality, and that message is very, very important. We can't get complacent. There's still more for us to do. So let's drive that down. Let the young ladies know they should own it. And make sure that the message is out there that it's not over yet.
You know what I can't see the lady from Iran. I read reading Lolita in Iran many years ago, and I was very struck by the book because it's. But from what you said, nothing very much has progressed in Iran for women. It seems to be, of all the countries, the ones where women are more kept under than any other country. That was my impression from your talk. I'm sorry if I...
Well, as far as I know, I was born and raised in Iran. Iranian women are very powerful, and they have the control of their life, but recently, unfortunately, with that Islamic Republic of Iran, they were trying, to discriminate against women. But because the Iranian women, they are determined, and they want to have their autonomy, they found the way to do it. And the temporary marriage is one of that. That's in Sharia law, and the men created that to benefit of that. But nowadays, the Iranian women, they're using that to keep their autonomy. And that's the reason why it's a lot of misconception about Iranian women. And the people, they underestimate them because, they think they're showing on TV, they wear the hijab, and they think, well, they don't understand anything. But as far as I know, the hijab is not only in Islam. All of the religions have a hijab for women, but the shape of the hijab is different. But nowadays, we are witness. The moment the Iranian women, they got a chance, they are revolting against, what's happened. And the reason why I showed the video of that old lady, 90 years old, because recently the Iranian women, they started a campaign which is called White Wednesday. Every Wednesday they go to the public places, they remove, their hijab, and they protest against that government. And this 90 years old woman wants to show, I am with you.
Thank you. I'm the ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud of you and to be in the presence of women all over the world, all different cultures. It is really an honor. And I sat here and I thought the one negative I will have is that we don't have more young women and we don't have boys. Because I think we need, I'm going to ask the panel, what do we do to reach the boys? Because as Shahin said, we are raising the boys. But a comment I'm going to make, I sat here and I thought, and especially when the ambassador was talking, I listened and I went back to Paul and I talk about the fruits of the Spirit, kindness, perseverance, humility, and I'm hearing all this come out, and then I hear resilience and realism, because you talk about the men not wanting to face. And I said, this is exactly what the world needs. And this is why these UN statistics show that when women are involved, governments are more transparent, the world is more peaceful, everything is more productive. And so if they don't realize that more women are needed in power, it's either that we're going to self-destruct or we're going to come to realization. So I, for one, believe that we are not going to self-destruct, that we are going to come to that reality, and that you say women are on the ascendance again. And one of the comments, you mentioned that no religion really gives women equality, and I thought of Galatians 3:28 and Paul. There is now neither Jew nor Gentile, male nor female, bond nor free, or slave nor free, we are all one. So it is not the religion, I think, but how we interpret it and how we practice it. And men, and I go back to the code of Hammurabi, so I think, how do we move forward, training these boys to understand this thing, and how do we include them as we go forward?
Yes. Thank you very much. Even, I'm sorry I have to answer to that question, because even in the Code of Hammurabi, if you read it, everything is in the favor of the man. I am talking about, I'm talking about the major religion in the world. They haven't given any right to women. And we have done a research about that, we couldn't find none. Because religion is religion. It came in different centuries. We have to respect each other's belief and each other's religion, but we cannot implement those century-old rule today, which is against the women. That's the reason why I mentioned that. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not against any religion. I respect everybody's, but that's the truth. And that's the thing the Islamic Republic of Iran had done to Iranian women. That's the reason why I'm angry, and I mentioned that.
Hello. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I just wanted to read a passage that I think is so important, and it comes from a religious writing. As long as women are prevented from attaining their highest possibilities, so long will men be unable to achieve the greatness which might be theirs.
Okay.
Thank you very much.